Anyway, so over the weekend, the Gamers 8 tournament happened in Saudi Arabia. This tournament had the highest prize pot of, I believe, any fighting game event ever. I don't think there's ever been anything higher. So in the grand finals, I'm jumping straight ahead to grand finals for this because this is the match that I wanted to watch. We've got Kakeru playing JP from the land of Japan. He's the JP from JP. And we've got Angry Bird, the Evo champion, in winner's side. This match was kind of incredible because, especially considering that Angry Bird had already beat Kakeru, I think he's the one that sent Kakeru to losers at this point. So when I went into this, I was like, okay, this is probably going to be like a 3-0 or a 3-1 for Angry Bird. But this match, this specific match, there is currently $400,000 on the line for the winner. Second place gets 200,000. So both of these guys are walking away with a big sack full of cash, but only one can get the big 400k. Oh yeah, one other thing I'm gonna add to the stream real quick is this in the bottom right. We're gonna keep track of the perfect parries because Kakeru's perfect parrying in this game was absolutely unbelievable, and I actually want to like keep an actual count of this to give you guys an idea of how good this man's parries were.
Anything can happen. Here we go.
So I think this matchup is even. I do think that Ken fights JP fairly well. He's got very fast movement, good ways to bait out JP's defensive options. Yeah, these guys just swinging. Match 1, they were both just like flailing, I think. They hadn't really got into their tempo yet, so there's lots of just hitting buttons. Also, I just want to say, like, I'm 99% sure this wake up sweep right here was meant to be EX counter, because I've experienced this exact drop myself. It was either a Cosmic Brain read on the walk back, or he messed up wake up EX counter and got kind of lucky. But Angry Bird takes the first match, or the first round, pretty convincingly. Would indicate a huge life lead from Angry Bird in that. God, that conversion is so sick. So, in case you guys don't know, if you hit Ken out of Dragon Lash, he gets forced into a forced knockdown state. It says on the left side of the screen here. And you actually do get a full juggle from it. So this is like really good awareness. He checks the Dragon Lash with crouch medium punch, sees the forced knockdown and converts into stand fierce. Great awareness. With each other. A little bit right in comparison to how they faced off in winners finals. A little bit. Yeah, it's a great answer to Dragon Lash, but you have to have very good reactions, and that's not easy to do. Nice punish. So you can actually punish there. This was a slight, I don't know if he dropped this from Kakeru, but if you EX counter Ken's stand fierce, like in this situation, you can actually start a punish with jab jab special. But I think he might have just slightly mistimed his button. Still gets the hit though. Both the life lead and the drive gauge advantage, and of course we all know JP's win condition. Definitely the burnout. It's going to be a big deal for him, and that is why. Oh my god, the drive gauge. Nick the round. Smart, and the punish counter throw for maximum meter build. Look how much damage this sequence does. Starting from the level 3. So from this position, Kakeru lands the level 3, and Angry Bird's got about 3.5 bars of drive gauge. The level 3 itself does 1.5 bars of drive gauge, so he's down to 2. And then this whole sequence here, even though Angry Bird tries to parry a few times, his drive gauge just gets absolutely obliterated. This is one of JP's biggest strengths in this game. JP's ability to destroy your drive gauge is probably second to none. Although interestingly, I will say, I don't think I saw a single perfect parry in the first 2 rounds. I think Kakeru's parries started to pick up momentum later on. I think early on he was just kind of feeling things out. I don't think we've seen any yet.
conversion, and I have to say,
Angry Bird gets the early level 3.
his counter hit conversions
Yeah, I think he truly went Super Saiyan after the bracket reset.
Oh, he makes it hurt. He absolutely makes it hurt. He makes sure if he's gonna spend all that bar.
It's insane. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no doubt. I love the stoppage there, the counterput from Kakaru. Also a big tool in this matchup to keep himself out of the corner as well. The departure to kind of back him up. A lot of the Phantoms coming out now, the spikes as well.
Nice patience from Angry Bird.
Yeah, so like right now, he seems to be actually struggling a little bit to get the perfect parries. Like most of his parries are just normal parries, even on the fireballs. It definitely took time for him to unlock his true potential. Nice confirm. Goes for level 2. Angry Bird does a great job. This is like a textbook example of how not to let yourself get locked down by the level 2. So in case you guys want to see a good example of how to deal with this super, Angry Bird parries, which protects him from pretty much everything except for a punish counter throw. He sees a gap and he jumps out. So Kakaru spent 2 bars and got nothing from it.
Luckily, it wasn't a punish counter though. Doesn't even matter.
And Angry Bird took the first game. So at this point, I was thinking to myself, oh yeah, this is going to be like a quick 3-0 or a 3-1. One thing I will point out here is this is Angry Bird's like signature technique right now. Angry Bird is absolutely a huge fan of drive rush jab. He does drive rush jab all the time, and it is so difficult to deal with. You get a full combo off it on hit, plus frames on block. It's extremely fast and hard to check, and it just makes his mid-range so much scarier. You're constantly preempting the drive rush jab. I feel like that's the way that drive rush is kind of evolving in this game. The early drive rush meta was to like drive rush with your heaviest button with the longest range, but I think a lot of people have started switching over to drive rush jab.
Yeah, he was just gonna wait. Didn't need to overextend on defense. He was just gonna hang out and parry. Angry Bird just ran out of time on that one. No whiff punish against the heavy kick, and that's gonna be great for Angry Bird now. On the assault, off of the lights, drive rush forward. What happens?
Nice whiff punish. Huge life lead here. Put up the portal, yep. And then just wait for Angry Bird to make a mistake, really. This is really cheap, by the way. I think people are talking about like JP nerfs. I think this is gonna get nerfed. This is one of the things about JP which few people talk about, but is actually kind of really cheap. Why is his target combo safe on block? Like, pretty much every single other character in the game with the target combo has to hit confirm it. For some reason, JP's heavy kick, heavy punch target combo here is -3. So you can just, like, press those 2 buttons, you get a full combo on hit, and then just stop on block. I think that's probably going to get nerfed. Alright, let's just start the round again just so I can be sure. Okay, there's perfect parry number 1. The first game he didn't really land any. Second, he's starting to get into the swing of things. Alright, now we're talking. Perfect parry number 2. And this is a big one because this is a cornered perfect parry. So now you get a bar of drive gauge and a back throw and a throw loop. But Angry Bird busts out. Perfect parry number 3. Can you see how quickly he's adapting? This is crazy. This man is a parry machine.
Going all the way back across the screen. He's got level 3, but chooses not to use it yet. Deliberating what the approach is gonna be. Okay. So intense too. He's got enough bar now to. Alright, that's gonna go.
This was a risky play here. I don't think this is enough to kill. And you're in burnout. Kakaru wanted to close this round out earlier. I think he does manage it, but that's kind of risky. Oh, never mind. I think Angry Bird wanted to get a perfect parry here, or maybe he just brain farted. Because you can't parry when you're that low on drive gauge unless it's a perfect parry. He's beginning to believe. He had to try it. I don't know, if that's me in that situation, I probably would have EXDP'd. If I've got a pixel of drive in the corner, you might as well just let one rip. Better odds than trying to land a perfect parry.
Man, still getting away with it. The
You
drive
don't want
rush
to risk
fierce.
trying to whiff punish that fierce though. 5 frames active.
Oh yeah, you stick
Yeah.
out anything at the wrong time, you're eating that big counter hit.
And there it goes. Is that number 4? He's getting on the fireball.
Juggle him, set up the departure. It allows him to move forward.
I should remind you guys that perfect parries in this game are a 2-frame window, which is even stricter than third strike. So I know I'm harping on about the perfect parries, but like perfect parries in this game are more difficult than parries in third strike, which is like the the game that everyone talks about. There's number 5.
Swinging.
How many times?
Yeah, it's about the same as landing a red parry in third strike, which is not easy to do. There we go. 6.
The perfect parry. Kakeru getting the timing down on these fireballs.
Tried it there, didn't quite get it, but you can see he's starting to warm up. Like his timing is getting more and more precise as the set progresses.
But definitely needs to try and change up his patterns and start to become a bit predictable. And Kakeru is definitely taking advantage of it, but he has got that safety of the winner's
Nice.
side.
Busts out with the EX counter.
Orbs.
Losing a lot of drive gauge and then fights his way out.
Oh man, that trade-off could have been so much worse. Angry Bird does have the life lead. 2, the step kick is there. Kakeru is just running into a handful of normals now. OD Amnesia, can he do it?
Oh my goodness. That is number 7, and that's also insanely
Anything about it?
high IQ play right there.
Just running into a hand.
So, let me explain what happened here if you don't know.
OD Amnesia, can he do it? Does have the life lead. 2, the step
So
kick is
JP's
there.
EX parry, I have made a video about this, but if you hit it with a jab, in this situation, even though you activate the EX counter,
Normals down.
Ken is like plus 10 or something ridiculous in this situation and has a good like half a second to do stuff before the bombs connect. So Angry Bird goes for the stand fierce. I think he's assuming that Kakeru is going to try and take a throw. Kakeru does something that I have never done before here. I have never ever once attempted the perfect parry in this situation. But that is so like hard to do and also a genius read. Like that is so sick.
Amnesia, can he do anything about it? Back throw? That's not bad. Not bad.
In grand finals as well. I can't reiterate, there are $400,000 on the line right now for these guys.
Ooh. This is going to be a difficult situation because if Kakeru gets
Oh my god. Number 8
the hit, no, he's
gets the grounded combo as well.
He's walking him down. The gauge, again, not affected. Angry
bro,
Bird
he
carrying
got
the entire
so
sequence.
much drive gauge back from that.
Ah, the chip out.
And he cashes out with the
I think in this
level 3.
situation, if you're Kakeru, you're actually kind of happy to see that happen.
Out, got
Like, in Street Fighter 6, meter is such an important resource.
so much
The-
drive gauge back.
If my opponent
Ridiculous.
is forced to spend the level 3 to bring it to a final round, like, just going into the next round, you've got like a 70-30 advantage just from round start. Maybe even more, I think.
Cashes
Like,
out with the level 3.
you do manage to bring the game into a final round, but it's so hard to fight when your opponent can just land a level 3 and immediately do 50%.
Level 3, I totally get that. You have to do it. The carry on this character is so good. On both characters is very good, really.
Yeah, both got access to great side switch as well, should they wish.
Not doing anything out of it, I feel like.
Triple dash.
Wow, triple dash. Kakeru's starting to play a bit more aggressive now.
Angry Bird. Oh man, how often
and
has
we
he
saw
done that?
that work so often. He didn't commit to a button on landing that time.
Nice. Anti-air stand fist.
Get the level
Oh, that's heartbreaking. I forgot about that.
First time we've ever seen
Yeah, in this situation, I think Kakeru was like kind of so surprised that this connected that he just went straight into level 3. Level 3 is a little bit finicky off EX Fireball. It can do weird stuff like this. The tracking is a little bit strange. So if he'd done Spike into level 3, it definitely would have connected, but I can fully understand why in this situation you're so like focused on just getting as much damage as you can. You just go straight into the level 3.
Oh, it's too high off of the jungle.
That was really
This is the
unfortunate
first
though.
time we've ever seen Kakeru
Still gets the
actually
burnout though, still in a great position.
Rare.
This round is definitely in Kakeru's favor.
Kakeru's conversion conversions are normally so good, but it's still a great situation for him. He's got a huge life lead, and Angry Bird's going to be in burnout for a while.
I think what I really like about Kakarot as well is that he doesn't overextend when Angry Bird is in burnout. Like, a bad habit that a lot of JP players have is that once this situation happens, you get tunnel vision and you start getting obsessed with the idea of stunning with drive impact. Kakarot doesn't do that at all. He just continues to poke, knowing that Angry Bird needs to make a big play happen. He's just playing the same game he already was playing. A couple of jabs here and there, and then one opening closes it out. Like, he's not desperate for the DI stun like a lot of people would be in high stakes situations.
Just to kind of see these two Titans play a couple more games, but man, if you're Angry Bird, obviously you want to see it now. Kakarot is slowly starting to make
Alright, that's number 9 on the Dragon Lash. The perfect parry on the Dragon Lash is such an important thing to have, because otherwise you're just going to let Ken get plus frames. I might even go as far as to say as learning to perfect parry Dragon Lash might be the single most important perfect parry to learn in this game at high level. It's up there with like Honda. Great DI.
We saw in winners finals, and you're seeing that play out here now. A much more competitive set from the two of them.
No, it's a valid point, right? You're starting to see a lot of that composure, a lot of the decision making that Kakarot is doing is really putting Angry Bird in sort of a conundrum. He hasn't figured out what to do against the
very nice.
hell now that Kakarot is.
Yeah, I mean, DI is definitely a good option in that situation, but the thing about DI is you have to react way earlier to get the DI on Dragon Lash. So perfect parry is a bit safer, because even if you miss it, then you don't take any damage and you get a bit of drive gauge back. I just want to point out this combo here. This is a great example of like what separates a good JP player from like a great JP player. Right here. So a lot of people in this situation as JP would be like so scrambling for the punish that they would probably just do like crouch jab, stand jab, light spin. Like jab jab special. But Kakarot's situational awareness is so good that he recognizes the crouch jab is going to be a punish counter, which means that he can get the link into stand medium kick, and then he also recognizes that the portal is still out, so he can cancel it into portal spike and get a full juggle. So like, that is really great situational awareness for that combo.
Yeah, the Dragon Lash is not the answer for him. That time it whiffed, and Kakarot gladly took the punish counter and closed out the set without having to spend any of those super bar resources. So he's just sitting there pretty on 2.5 bars.
Damn, 2 perfect parries back to back right there. I've got to add 2 for that. 1 on the fireball and 1 on the step kick.
Angry Bird fight for his life. Another punish counter.
Yeah, this is definitely the Neo he's beginning to believe scene. Oh my god. Another one.
Dragon Lash is parried, and he's in burnout as well.
Oh my god, this is like the perfect round. Up until this point, I feel like here, I wasn't quite sure what he was doing there with the level 2 in the corner. And then he gets a little bit scrambly here. I think he actually loses this round in the end. But that first half was like absolutely perfect, like flawless gameplay.
For that, yeah, has to respect the departure spike on the way out.
The bailout immediately invests 3 bars in this corner carry conversion off the low forward. A brave tech from Kakarot.
Goes for the level 2 here.
Level 2 again, Logan. Side switch. Set up a departure from that far.
Oh yeah, this was a little bit of a brain fart here, I think, or maybe just like one of those situations where you're not quite sure what route to go for. Yeah. So in this situation, Kakarot couldn't really decide when he activated the level 2 how he should continue the combo here. Because I'm pretty sure in this situation, even the most optimized combo isn't going to kill with the level 2. So he decides to go for the drive gauge damage version instead, like sacrifice regular damage for drive gauge damage. But he doesn't really notice that that's not a good idea to do if your drive gauge is actually slightly lower than your opponent's. So he decides to destroy Angry Bird's drive gauge, but he has to spend 1 bar on the DI here, 1 bar on the drive rush here, and 1 bar on the DI here. So he does get Angry Bird on like the verge of burnout, but he also burns himself out in the process, which is kind of risky, and it backfires. And at this point, there's not much you can do. He had 0 bars, he was in burnout, you can't really avoid the stun.
Kakru miscalculated the amount of drive gauge he would take off Angry Bird. Thought he was going to put him in burnout.
Yeah. First half of that round was like absolutely perfect. Second half, like I said, he got a little bit carried away, I think. But I can't criticize it. He was playing spectacularly throughout this.
Reset point. Departure here. Maybe close the gap. No, he wants to set one up. One more. Angry Bird towards the corner now, eating a ton of damage.
Looking for the parry. And again,
Went for the perfect parry there. Didn't quite get it, but there's one for the record on the fireball.
Just missing that 2-frame perfect parry window. A beautiful button, and then he's just buffering away with those mediums.
Keeping it light as well, not to overextend on offense, or I should say defense. He's keeping it pretty active though against the drive rushes. He's starting to see the pattern from Angry Bird, getting a little antsy with the drive game.
God. I can't manage this. Like I can perfect parry Dragon Lash from time to time. If I'm really focused, I can probably hit that perfect parry maybe like 50% of the time. If I'm playing really well. This man is hitting like 95% success rate on the perfect parries. So Kakeru resets the bracket with a 3-1. He tried it there. Like I like how you like after this point in the set, you start almost expecting him to perfect parry every time. It's almost disappointing when you see him do a normal parry. It's like, ah man, where's the perfect? There it is. Just as I said it. Perfect parry.
Kakadu has been prepared for all of them thus far. Off to a pretty decent start, I would say. Not a significant life lead, but want to make Angry Bird double check his approach.
Yeah, you watch the buttons that Kakadu
Perfect parry again right there.
Not seeing crouch and medium punch at all. So this Dragon Lash to get in, look at that.
And there's the other option. So DI actually is a way higher damage option against Dragon Lash, but you have to react this very early. Because if there are actually a couple frames where if you DI Dragon Lash, Ken can actually recover and counter DI you right at the end. So I think if he'd done that DI like maybe 2 frames later, he might have been in trouble, but he got the punish counter timing. It wasn't a punish? Yeah, it was. What are you talking about? Oh, what? Wait, how? Wait. How did he get the cinematic version of the DI without a punish counter? What? I'm actually kind of confused about that. What? Oh, so it's just because it armored something? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I was thinking to myself, like, while I was saying this, that DI actually looked kind of late. So he absorbed the hit of the Dragon Lash, and this wasn't actually a punish. So this is exactly what I was saying. This is why DI is actually a slightly riskier punish to go for here, because this wasn't a punish counter. So I think maybe Angry Bird, it wasn't a regular counter hit either. I'm not sure. Maybe Angry Bird just like let go of the stick or was like jumping or fumbled something. But he actually could have countered that DI. He could have counter DI'd it, but he didn't. But so that's why perfect parry is usually a safer option, because that was not a punish counter.
That's even better because he doesn't have to worry about getting the perfect parry. He just gets the drive impact and the combo. Oh, and again he goes for it. He's just being so stubborn here in this strategy. Is it gonna
Yeah, I feel like what's happening here is that Angry Bird doesn't like how much he's getting perfect parried, and sometimes that drives you to actually start to do the same thing on repeat. Like, I'm getting the impression that he kind of wants to go, I'm going to keep doing this, and eventually you're going to stop perfect parrying. You can't keep getting lucky that many times in a row. I think that's kind of his mindset of like, almost like stubbornly keep going for Dragon Lash to test the perfect parries.
More things to think about, because right now all he's thinking about is that Dragon
Stagger pressure yet again. I think he's 2 for 2 in regards to that strategy against Kakuri. That's got to mean something, right? He's
Perfect parry.
using defense, or sorry, movement as a defensive option. Angry Bird needs to learn how to shut that down.
Perfect parry.
But again,
By the way, just talking about the perfect parries. So, perfect parries on fireballs aren't as flashy as the perfect parry on Dragon Lash, but I actually think the perfect parry on fireball is harder than the Dragon Lash perfect parry. Because, like, the Dragon Lash has a fairly consistent timing, and you just wait until he's as close to you as possible. It's actually really hard to consistently perfect parry fireballs in this game, because they can mix up the speed, and any movement that you make forward and backwards, like while you're walking in neutral, can add like a couple of frames before the fireball makes contact. So perfect parrying fireballs is actually a lot more finicky. So the fact that he's doing that consistently is actually probably the more impressive part.
And he has to get past right here again. The canes that have been stopping him from even closing
Another one. 3 for 3.
the gap.
Punish counter. That was finally too far away.
Oh
Nice.
boy. Are we gonna see the amnesia? Perhaps.
Yes, we are.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He still gets the combo here.
He is able to utilize the OD. Not like this. Kakadu?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So Angry Bird baited out the EX counter on Wake Up here.
Amnesia?
He made the
Perhaps.
right read, and then he tried to punish it with punish counter DI.
Yes, we
It was
are.
just a little bit too late. He still gets the
Fine for
wall
Angry
splat
Bird.
DI,
He is able to
but wall
utilize
splat
the
DI does a
OD.
lot less damage than punish counter DI, so he didn't quite get the kill.
Kakadu? Oh, boy.
A little bit unlucky on Angry Bird's side there.
No level 2 to close it out, but he's going to go into this final round with 3 bars instead.
Same with
Perfect parry.
both, yeah. Whoever lands the first hit, best believe you're gonna expect a level 3, right?
Represented with a lot more of these drive rushes, these run and step kicks as well. The stack
Nice.
on the jabs again, and he immediately cashes out with the level 3.
But you saw how he did it, right? He did it off of the stagger pressure yet again. A single jab, 2 jabs over after that. Kakadu
Perfect parry
starting
nerf
to get
incoming.
figured out what he wants to do on defense, getting a little bit antsy before the corners.
I like perfect parries in this game. I think they're well balanced.
Earlier set just get opened up
And there aren't many people in the world who are doing this consistently. There's number 21. Give it up for day 21.
Into short, into stand jab against Mena.
Right.
So stubborn on defense, and I think he definitely has defensive patterns.
This was interesting. I don't know if people really noticed what was happening. I don't think the commentators noticed it when it happened.
Is going to put him at a huge advantage, but Angry Bird's got a lot
Who?
of drive.
Tell me if you saw this and thought, huh, what was that all about?
So stubborn on defense. And
This.
he definitely has defensive patterns
So,
with Mena. So
let
stubborn
me explain
on
what's happening here. So he assumes that Angry Bird is going to crouch block, so he goes for the overhead, but Angry Bird actually gets hit by the first spike detonating. And there's this weird thing in this game, which wasn't present in Street Fighter... crazy screen tearing, I know. In Street Fighter 5, if a normal hit on the same frame as a move that juggles in the air, you would continue the air juggle. But if it hit like 1 frame before or 1 frame after, you'd get an air reset. That's not how it works in this game. There's a little bit more lenience. So this overhead connects after the first spike here. And because of the slightly weird way this game handles air resets, although this normal, the overhead, is supposed to air reset, because the second spike hits like a couple of frames later, it maintains the juggle state. So he's able to get the combo even though he hit with the forward medium kick in midair. This is a thing that doesn't affect 99.9% of the characters in this game, but it is actually... Some JP combos actually take advantage of that.
Nice parry. He's going to get a lot of drive gauge back. He gets hit though. Beautiful delay.
So you intentionally do a normal that's designed to air reset in between the 2 hits of EX Spike, and you can maintain the juggle even though you're not supposed to.
And it's so significant too. It's double digits on startup, right? That standing heavy kick is 12 frames, so you're getting extra
Perfect parry.
delay on that in case you wanted to press maybe like a medium button.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping track of Angry Bird's perfect parries. I don't know if he's got any.
Because they use it as a meaty into the target combo
Perfect parry.
after the portal setup.
PP again. Oh my god. How many times? Pausing the video every 2 seconds now. The rate of perfect parries has increased significantly.
Oh,
Was that one? That was one, right?
oh.
Yep. Another one. And he gets the... Like, this is a good example of how perfect parry is good in the Fireball game.
Coming down. Oh.
So he gets the perfect parry, which instantly cancels out the Fireball block stun, and Ken's stuck in recovery. So he gets the crouch medium kick. It's not a huge punish counter, and it is scaled, but all of these little crouch medium kicks here are adding up.
Kakuru's just got such fantastic timing on these parries, whether it's a perfect parry.
Another one.
Or just a parry dealing with pressure. Unbelievable, and he's showing completely different looks here with these normals.
Yeah, Kakeru at this... Oh my god. At this point in the set, Kakeru is looking like a different player compared to the first game. First game, he was a little bit shaky, a little bit awkward, and right now you can see he is like fully in the zone. Everything is just working.
Oh, and he goes to the well again, and the Kakeru perfect parry is going to be enough.
And he gets this combo as well.
With the level 1.
That is a very optimized level 1 extension of the perfect parry.
Kakeru looking like an entirely different beast right now against Angry Bird.
Very cool combo, yeah.
What does that mean?
And then the big jump.
We're gonna set up.
Goes for the safe jump.
Forward jump into safe. Oh boy.
Cricket back.
Cricket back. Yeah, the exact same swing.
Yeah,
Level 3
Ultra
coming in.
Instinct Kakeru has been unlocked.
Look at that drive gauge back. Put Kakeru on edge just a little bit close to burnout, but can't afford to be.
Wakes up with crouch medium punch. That's how you know someone's feeling themselves. Yeah, like every single read is paying out, and he gets to level 3, and that's it.
You already know. Okay, just in case I paused, just in case he happened to drop it. There's gonna be a thing, man. That is Kakeru, 2 rounds straight and 2 games.
As far as I'm concerned, like one thing I like to do when I'm watching back replays, it's 2-0 right now for Kakeru, but one thing I like to do is I like to kind of like think to myself, what is the moment where the matchup was basically over? Like, what's the moment where one player just took full advantage of it? And for me, the moment where I was convinced that Kakeru was definitely going to win was...
looking like an entirely different beast right now against Angry Bird.
I think it was a jump in around here. That jump right there. Kakeru at this point in the set had done almost 0 forward jumps. Like, other than to escape the corner, he has gone for almost 0 forward jump reads on fireballs. And Angry Bird's fireball game, from personal experience, is extremely hard to read. I almost never get jumps on him. So when I saw him get this punish counter forward jump on the fireball, 7 seconds into the round, after not doing like anything for the first 7 seconds, he just waited and then jumped. I was like, oh yeah, this might be over right now. I just thought that's like the point where the match became too much in Kakeru's favor. The other thing is that at this point, Kakeru is now 5 games straight, I believe. He lost the first one and won the next 5. So all the momentum is on his side. Good DI though.
Is reacted to from Angry Bird, and we're going to be going towards the corner with this enhanced tattoo. There's the stagger again, counter hitting.
Another perfect parry.
But the perfect parry is going to give Kakeru the stage again. EX portal.
We're closing in on 30 now in one. This is, well, technically it's 2 sets because it was a reset as well, but even still. There it is, number 29.
Wants to do whether it's a perfect parry or the amnesia movement.
Very notable as well after that held parry that Angry Bird didn't do anything because he didn't get counter hit after these prolonged parries quite frequently.
The stat, oh, I gotta say, man, him committing to the target combo for the frame trap was brilliant. Let's get the Goon Squad set up. That's 1 departure. Set up again.
Goes for the setup.
Has to hold that.
And then that's just a perfect read. So in this situation, when JP goes for this mix-up,
set up again.
The general idea here is that you go for a high-low. So this target combo has like an overhead and a low finisher. And if they don't block correctly, then the spike hits and you get a full combo. But Kakeru is like 1 layer ahead of all of that. He's like, the high-low here is so obvious that my opponent is going to parry to protect themselves from both the high and the low. So he makes the much smarter play of being like, I know that Angry Bird is a really good player. And I know that he knows that parry is going to cover for both the high and the low option here. There's not really a mix-up when parry exists. So he cancels the target combo early into the teleport. Angry Bird is now stuck in the parry animation, unable to do anything. And he gets a punish counter throw, guaranteed. Genius.
And it's looking to be a clean sweep in this grand finals. I cannot believe this turn of events.
Not like this. All of the fantasy brackets. Let's see it. Who had Kakeru as taking
Yeah,
it
this
down
is
as
chess
champ.
fighting
Someone
games
over
right now.
OD
4 moves
uppercut
ahead.
hit off of me.
Puts himself in burnout though. Oh!
Beautifully done, Angry Bird.
Oh, what? The pause? Wait, I just I just want to see who paused here, just for my records. Oh, it doesn't say. I want to know whose pause this was. Take the round. Take the round. It doesn't. Why doesn't it say? I thought it's supposed to say like player 1, player 2. Yeah, whatever.
I don't know what that was. We let it rock here? Okay, I guess so.
Yeah, no one's gonna pull you up for letting that rock during a super animation.
You know, not even close to that just yet. Dragon Lash, the uppercut.
Angry Bird fighting for survival here.
Angry Bird's still fighting though. Not giving up so easily.
One more to go. It's still set point Kakeru.
Another perfect parry. Throw that one on the list. That's big 30.
Ooh, no,
Nice whiff punish.
Kakeru just at the right spot at the right time for the whiff punish against the misplaced Dragon Lash. Set up the departure, walk him down a little bit, and yeah, testing his reactions. He still has the parry. Angry Bird is looking to fight his way out of the corner, step by step, block by block. The drive rush is there.
Oh my god. 31.
But still, how did he do it?
I like how even the commentators know this is not a normal amount of parries. You can hear it in, I think it's Vicious and Logan. This is not usual. Even at high... Oh, there we go, number 32. Even at, like, high levels Street Fighter 6 right now, there is almost no precedent for someone landing this many perfect parries in one game.
So many perfect parries. Unbelievable.
A single hit for Kakeru could spell the end of Angry Bird. We're getting closer and closer to it.
Touch. Oh,
And then gets the air conversion, and that is it. And Kakeru has just won $400,000 with, I hope I haven't miscounted, but 32 perfect parries. I don't know what to say, man. That is one of the most dominating performances I've seen in this game. Incredible. So, from now until Capcom Cup, this will remain the single largest prize payout of any fighting game ever. It will be beaten at the end of the year, because Capcom Cup is going to give out $1 million to first place. But until then, this is the new record. I think the thing for me, the thing that made me realize how insanely good Kakeru played this set was that I logged onto Twitter, which is not a good idea, right after this ended to see the wave of hate that JP was going to be getting, like the thousands of people begging for JP nerfs. And I actually saw a bunch of people being like, you know, as good as JP is, that was not JP, that was Kakeru. Like, no one was trying to claim that, like, that was JP carry or whatever. Everyone was like, yeah, Kakeru played that so good. For about 2 hours. For about 2 hours, the good faith criticism came in. And then, obviously, after that, everyone switched to fuck JP, nerf this character. But 2 hours of relatively low JP complaining is massive. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you could hit that sub button, and I will see you guys in the next one.